while the New York Attorney General Letitia James and her kind of corrupt band of prosecutors are relentlessly trying to concoct, to fabricate, to frame Donald Trump, at the same time, they are trying to cover up for Governor Cuomo. They're conducting a non-investigation, which is intended to give cover to Democrats who are pretending to be outraged by the Cuomo scandals. And by the Cuomo scandals, I really mean two. One is a multiplicity of sexual harassment scandals, a whole bunch of women who have accused Cuomo of harassment in various degrees. And second, a really big scandal, and that is the deaths in the nursing home scandals. Both these are supposedly under investigation, but what I want to tell you is that there is no real investigation. There's a pretense of an investigation, and the real job of the investigation is to delay, to buy time. Oh, we're looking at this, we're taking a really hard look, and they keep saying, well, we're expanding the investigation, all of which is a pretext to say this is why it's taking so long, and it's going to take longer and even longer until everyone sort of loses interest. The original charges seem to become a little dimmer in the memory, and Cuomo not only stays in office but gets reelected. Now, there's kind of a mini Cuomo scandal that's in the headlines, which involves his brother, Chris Cuomo of CNN. And the scandal is that Chris Cuomo has apparently participated in conference calls with the governor and the governor's office and his staff about how to deflect sexual harassment allegations. In other words, how to deal with them strategically. And apparently the brother has been saying, and this is according to a source as reported in the Washington Post, that what Cuomo should do is decry the sexual harassment scandals as, quote, cancel culture. Cancel culture. As if these women who are making these allegations are trying to cancel Governor Cuomo. Of course, the real issue here is, here's Chris Cuomo. He's in CNN. He's supposed to be a journalist. He's supposed to be a reporter. And here he's colluding with his brother. Listen, let me give you some tactical suggestions about how to kind of rebuff these women and make them look like fools or liars. So all of this is going on. Of course, CNN is in the middle of it. And again, what CNN wants to do is protect Cuomo. So they've said, well, we think this is a bit of a mistake of judgment, and we're going to make sure it doesn't happen again. But you have to remember the kind of salivating coverage that Chris Cuomo has been giving his brother. I'll just read one quote when his brother was, sort of this kind of hero of COVID. We know, of course, now that that's all a big lie. But I'm quoting now Chris Cuomo on CNN. I hope you're able to appreciate that what you did in your state, he's talking to his own brother, and what it means for the rest of the country now, and what it will always mean to those who love and care about you the most. I'm wowed by what you did, and more importantly, I'm wowed by how you did it. I mean, what is this? Is this journalism? This is a desecration of journalism. And it's embarrassing even around the dinner table. But as a function of CNN, this is just shows you that CNN is not even really a news network. Now, let's focus in on Governor Cuomo's offense. His offense, by the way, is not even the sending of the COVID patients to nursing homes to die. That is a bad judgment. It's a horrible decision. I think he did it in part because he didn't want to take advantage of the U.S. Navy ship that Trump sent. He didn't want to, quote, accept any favors from Trump. He's like, we'll do it on our own. We'll figure this one out. That's a bad decision, but you don't go to jail for a bad decision. What you do go to jail for is the cover-up. The Cuomo people hid the data. They hid the bodies, so to speak. They went after people who were trying to put the data out. They lied not only to the Trump people, but then they told the Democrats in New York, the elected Democrats, listen, we're only holding this data back because we don't want to give ammunition to Trump. But that was not the real reason. The real reason was that Cuomo was peddling a book. He was presenting himself as the savior of COVID. Then they knew they had all this horrible data that showed the situation in New York was not only worse than anticipated, but worse than other states. So Cuomo was no hero. He was not doing a good job, but he knew it was important, at least temporarily, to hide that while he went on book tour and made himself sort of Sir Galahad riding on a white horse. So it's this fakery, it's this cover-up that is culpable. But the Manhattan DA, the Attorney General, they have no intention of going after Cuomo. They keep delaying. I'll just give one kind of example of this. they announced, by the way, this investigation has been going on for 2 months. And some of these women who have made sexual harassment claims said that they just now, 2 months later, have received subpoenas to come in and testify. Now, it takes you 2 months to send out a letter saying, hey, we want to talk to you. Well, the reason it takes 2 months is because it's going to take them another 2 months, by the way, to call them in, another 2 months to transcribe what they say. The whole idea here is delay, delay, delay. So this is not an investigation. It's essentially giving permission to New York Democrats to say, we take sexual harassment complaints very seriously. We're very concerned about the Cuomo administration's suppression of data. We're really going to be looking at, so it is essentially to sort of protect this pretense, a political pose, a form of sort of public theater. That's what's going on. But what Letitia James and her gang is trying to do is not prosecute Cuomo, but get him reelected.